everyone who is here for our Buckhead construction update. This is our second time doing these updates. We started with the Piedmont Road widening project. I believe that was back in March now. We did record that webinar, so if you were not able to attend, or if you have people who you would like to show that to who might be interested, it is located on our YouTube page, which we can put in the chat so that you guys can check that out. This one will also be recorded and posted on our YouTube page. So for those who were not able to attend, who you might think would be interested in this, they can go check it out after we are done recording and once it has been posted. So today we are focusing on the project, our Wiecua Road and Phipps Boulevard Roundabout project that has started, and we will get into that. We have Tony Peters. Let me get this slide going. Okay, perfect. We have Tony Peters here with us today again. He was here with us the last time back in March. He is the Director of Capital Projects and Programs with the Buckhead Community Improvement District. And I am also here again. My name is Jenna Boettcher. I am the Mobility Services Program Manager with Livable Buckhead. So Tony is going to focus on the project and the details that go along with the project today. And then I'll be focusing on mobility, alternative transportation, incentives, rewards, all of that great stuff. So Tony, do you have anything to add on your part with that?
We're good. Thank you, Jenna.
Okay. And before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone again that there are several projects going on around the Buckhead community with the Buckhead Community Improvement District and Georgia Department of Transportation. So this QR code will lead you to all of the projects that are going on right now and that are soon to be starting. It's kind of our landing page for all of those projects. It will go over the Piedmont Road widening, Wiecua Road that we're talking about today, as well as the Lennox Road Complete Street project. So if you want to learn more about that, please utilize that QR code. It'll send you to our splash page for that. And with this next slide, really exciting. This is kind of our introduction to what's to come with Wiecua Road. So I'm going to try and play this if everyone can see it. So this is giving you a visual of what's currently on Wiecua Road at that intersection, and then what's to come. Wow. So I know we all love a good visual. This was created and we thought it'd be really cool to showcase kind of a visual for you on what's happening with Wiecua Road, what that is anticipated to look like. So that's really exciting. And the next slide, Tony, I'm going to let you take it from here. Do you want me to go to the next slide or you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, next slide.
Yeah, really exciting. And then from here, we go on to what's to come with the Wiecua Road Roundabout.
Thank you, Jenna. Hey, everybody. This is Tony Peters. I work for the Buckhead Community Improvement District. And I decided to open up this kind of introduction for the roundabout to you as to kind of answer the question as to why a roundabout. And this has been a long term project that was born out of the residential community approaching the Buckhead CID and asking if we could explore how to better make the intersection of Phipps and Wiecua more safe for the pedestrian and the vehicle and the bicycle. And that was based upon a lot of vehicle and pedestrian conflicts, i.e. accidents, and vehicle-to-vehicle accidents. So the CID hired a transportation design firm to really dig deep as to what the issues were, and then come up with some alternatives as to what could be implemented to make it better. And the end result of that exercise was that a roundabout was deemed the best alternative to fix those problems. So here we are today. So the CID then engaged a different design firm to design the roundabout. And the roundabout's design and its elements were very much so in a very well-coordinated partnership developed plan that is not just a roundabout, but a lot of other things that kind of go with it. And I'll kind of walk through those things with you. So obviously the roundabout will be implemented at the current intersection of Phipps and Wiecua. But through our partnership with Atlanta and our stakeholders and the residents, we really put a bigger emphasis on the bicycle and the pedestrian in this area of Buckhead, because it really is the entrance into the commercial core of Buckhead from the North Buckhead neighborhood area, if you will, specifically coming from Wiecua over towards Peachtree. And so everything on the northern side of Wiecua, between Peachtree Road, going in front of Church of Wiecua, going towards the roundabout, and all the way down to Old Ivy, we are putting in a dual direction bike facility that's protected by granite curbing from the road. And then behind that is going to be a 6 to 8 foot wide pedestrian only facility, going all the way from Peachtree to Old Ivy. And then we are also putting in a brand new traffic signal at the intersection of Old Ivy and Wiecua. And that intersection is where the bicycles and the pedestrians will kind of interact on the south side of Wiecua as they approach Old Ivy. They will then cross Wiecua to get onto the other side where we're having the larger facilities for bikes and peds, and then get them towards Peachtree. That then allows them to have better pedestrian and bicycle access throughout the commercial core. So that's the project in a whole of what we're trying to do and trying to build. And then a offshoot of what our partnership developed was that on the corner of Wiecua and Phipps Boulevard, there is a current city-owned, I would call it a passive park. And when I say passive, I mean passive, like you'd pass by it and you wouldn't know it was there. And so in partnership with Councilman Howard Shook's office, the Parks Department, Atlanta DOT, we all decided that park area needs to have some enhancements to it. So we are putting in a considerable amount of dollars to enhance that park to make it be a place you'd physically want to go to. And the imagery you have here kind of shows you in that corner what we plan to do with it. And you're going to be very, very pleased when you see the end result. So where we are today, we went through a competitive bidding process to identify the lowest responsible bidder. And the lowest responsible bidder came out to be a company called Summit Construction and Development Company out of DeKalb. And ironically, the same firm, same general contractor, is the same contractor who just repaved West Paces Ferry for us and also Mount Perrin Road for us. And we know them extremely well and are incredibly pleased and happy that they were the lowest responsible bidder. They were provided their notice to proceed, which starts the clock ticking on their contract. It is a 18-month all-in contract from start to completion that includes any utility relocations that are going to be happening during the course of construction. They will be finished by November 21st of 2025, so that we are done before that Thanksgiving year, or that Thanksgiving holiday, I should say. And that really makes it where we only were under construction in one major holiday season, not two. And that was very important for us to make sure that we accommodate that for the community as well. Lane closures will be during the day, just because obviously there's too much residential around here that would even warrant a dialogue about doing work at nighttime. So our lane closure timeframes are going to be from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily. We can expect only one lane of travel to be affected by a lane closure at a time. A couple specifics that I want to go into that are going to be what you're going to be seeing from now until, let's say, the next 3 or 4 months as a look ahead. We are going to be having the contractor focus on that streetscape element in front of the church at Wiecua between Peachtree and where the new roundabout will be going first. In our right-of-way acquisition and easement acquisition for all these properties, our ability to work with the church to get areas to stage equipment and material was imperative for how this project could proceed. And therefore, we're going to work on that front portion of the church first and get that pedestrian facility activated. And at the same time, we're also going to be working on the park. So that way, Georgia Power, who needs to be relocating some above ground wood utility poles on the northern side of Wiecua between the roundabout and Old Ivy, they can do their work and kind of be separated from the construction work itself. So that's kind of the overall arching, why we're doing this, how we're doing it, when we're doing it. And you will always keep my feet to the fire about our Thanksgiving of 2025 deadline. And I'm going to kind of stop there and let Jenna take it from there.
Thanks, Tony. And would you say, did I hear you correctly that they're starting with the streetscapes before they start on the road work area?
Yes, just because the streetscape area in front of the church is really from an existing curb line that's already there, and we're going back into the church land that we bought. So that's an area that we can really focus on without a lot of detriment to either the driving public currently or in the next few months or so. And then I think right after that is kind of complete is when the work on the roundabout will begin. And I will add, and thanks for asking, by the way, there will be the need for a temporary signal to be put up at the same time the roundabout itself is being built. So if you can get a visual, if we're removing a traffic signal from an intersection, we need to kind of remove the traffic signal and then put up a temporary signal and put those areas in place around where we're going to be building the roundabout. So it's a very complex plan of attack, but it's been done, of course, everywhere there's a roundabout, mainly in the Milton area and Alpharetta and other places around us. But we are very confident with the folks we have in place to put that together, and it will work out great.
Thank you for that. And if you guys do have any questions, let us know in that Q&A and we'll get to it at the end. Now I'm going to go into if your commute will be impacted, has been impacted, you want to know some alternative commutes during this time. That's kind of why I'm here to chat with you all. So I have listed here some recommended alternative modes that I'm sure you've heard before if you've been on these calls. I also have a QR code here that links to our custom commute plan. If you're unsure if you have an alternative commute, it's a great tool to utilize. Plug in your home address, your work address, fill it out. It sends it over to us. We're able to take a look and see what your best route is, also how much money you could be saving and incentives you could be earning. So it's a really great tool to utilize right there on that QR code. But of course, we always recommend MARTA, carpooling, biking if possible, walking or scootering. We know that our signature project is Path 400. So whenever and however that can be utilized, especially in this residential area, definitely going to be something to take a look at and be familiar with. We have our Buck Shuttle, which has a specific zone, but many of the areas around the Buckhead core are within that zone. If you're unfamiliar, check it out on our webpage to learn more. And then again, the custom commute plan, like I discussed, is a really great option if you're just not sure what your best option is, or if you've never looked into alternative modes. Definitely a great place to start there. And this was what I was talking about earlier. If you want to get signed up for real-time traffic alerts and construction updates, you can do so via Livable Buckhead's email and text alerts. Located at that livablebuckhead.com/traffic alerts, or that QR code will take you right to it. And what's really great is that you can sign up for specific projects that directly impact you. So you don't have to sign up for every project if it's not a concern, or if you want to know everything going on, definitely be sure to sign up for all of those specific projects. Now I want to get into specifically what we're doing for all of these projects that are happening at the same time around Buckhead. We really, Livable Buckhead really wanted to create something that would help incentivize switching your trip during this time to help with traffic mitigation. And so we have launched the Switch Your Trip campaign, which provides 10 trip transit passes, free rides on our Buck shuttle. We give out $50 monthly gift cards to those who are participating in this Switch Your Trip campaign, and a lot more with it. So the only requirement we have is if your employer is located within the Buckhead Community Improvement District boundary, which you can find out from that QR code or livablebuckhead.com/switchyourtrip. And on my next slide here, I'm going to kind of go into specifically what those incentives and rewards are. So like we talked about, the transit trip is a 10-trip MARTA pass. So if you qualify, if you sign up on the Switch Your Trip campaign and you get an email that says you're qualified, we send you that 10-trip MARTA pass for you to be able to use. You also earn free trips on our Buck shuttle, which is really awesome if you haven't used it yet before. This is a great opportunity to try it. We also have our Livable Buckhead Pool Perks program, which is for 2-person carpools. And I'll get in if you have more people in the car, we have another resource for you. But the 2-person carpools are really great for kind of our hybrid workforce or our full-time going into the office. We have 2 different categories. It ranges from $15 gas cards to $30 gas cards, depending if you commute only once or twice a week, or if you are carpooling that 5 days a week. And then we do have our $20 gas card signing bonus for new carpools who join our program. And like I said before, monthly $50 gift card raffles just for logging those alternative commutes or for trying an alternative commute in the new MyGCO platform, which I will go into on our next slide as well. If you want to see some specific commute-specific support guides, this QR code will lead you to that page as well. It goes into again, using MARTA, transit specific, carpool specific. It really gets to that specific mode in those using that QR code. So definitely, if you are interested to learn more, check that out. And I definitely wanted to give some time for Georgia Commute Options. If you are not familiar, Georgia Commute Options is a program managed by Atlanta Regional Commission, and it's funded through Georgia Department of Transportation. Their goal is to get single occupant drivers off of the roads. So all of us who drive alone to and from work, the goal is to try and incentivize a new route, a new way to get to work. And so they provide free services to be able to motivate people to choose those clean commute alternatives and also reward them. So GCO recently had a new platform launched. So they updated their app. If you previously were logging your trips, you will need to download the new platform and activate your account. And you can see from the QR code right there, it will take you to the MyGCO app to download. And this image is kind of giving you what the new home screen looks like. It gives you users your own kind of home base to see what you've done, how much CO2 emissions you've reduced from choosing an alternative route. It shows you how much money you've saved, how many miles that you've gone. And also with this new MyGCO app, it helps you find your commute trips as well. So you can plug in your home address, your work address, and it will show you your best commute option, as well as if you're looking for a carpool partner or even just a transit buddy, you can find that within this app, and it's all for free. So definitely, if you have not signed up and if you haven't activated in the new system, go ahead and do so you can check out everything that's on there for you, free resources. to utilize. And Livable Buckhead, we're always here. If there's anyone on here that you want your employees to know about this, we're always willing to come on site, chat with you about it and your employees and help get them signed up for this. And then my last slide here is with questions from the community. So I have our construction update landing page there, and I believe we had a few questions come in. There was one question someone sent in about when the project would start and end, and Tony did answer those questions for us, that it has begun, correct? Or the bidding, they've secured that, and then the first step will be the streetscapes and then on to the roundabout. After that, we did have a question come in from Robin. Will the CID maintain the park and green space in and around the roundabout?
Great question. The answer is yes. And for those of you who know about Charlie Loudermilk Park, down Peachtree, where it intersects with Roswell and West and East Paces Ferry Road, the CID, in partnership with Atlanta Parks Department, redid that park. And then as a result of that, a memorandum of understanding was then developed for the CID's perpetual maintenance. And then the city reimburses the CID a nominal amount per year to go towards those maintenance items. And the similar transaction will happen with this small park as well.
Great. And
let me rephrase that. The park and the roundabout itself. So everything in the streetscapes and the roundabout and the park will all be maintained by the CID.
Great. And then someone asked, how soon do you expect the road work to begin on the street? So I guess after the streetscape.
Yeah, and I'm not at a point where I can nitpick between road work and streetscape work and curb and all that kind of stuff. So I'm keeping it kind of like, okay, let's work on the demo of the streetscapes first, and then we'll see how long that takes before then they jump into wanting to attack the roundabout. But I can easily say the roundabout development of getting it to be formed as a circle, no pun intended, to have a temporary signal put up will take place more than likely before the end of the year.
Okay, awesome. And let's see, someone asked, I'd like to know more about closures for pedestrians during the project, i.e. will there always be pedestrian access, and what will that look like?
There will always be pedestrian access, but it will more than likely come with some type of detour to get you around a spot we're working on. But the answer to the question is yes, there will always be pedestrian access, but it will more than likely come with a detour.
Okay, great.
And by the way, that's a great. Jen, I would like you to hold me to that. I think we should develop with the contractor a little more of a PR piece, if you will, that will talk about how pedestrians who do walk to this area from the neighborhoods, and all the pedestrians who live in the high rises, and the folks who are working in the buildings, who go to the mall. I think that is a good thing for us to develop a better visual and a better, more at least acknowledgement that we need to make sure folks know about how pedestrians are still welcome here and how we're going to take care of them. So put that on me to develop that as a follow-up.
Okay, great. Someone asked, when do you anticipate lane closures starting? We kind of answered that before. We don't have a specific date, but later this year. Again, I would sign up for our construction alerts to let you know when to expect the lane closures to start.
Agreed.
And I'm not sure if this relates either. Information on timing of squaring up the intersection of Peachtree Road and Wiecua Road, eliminating slip lanes. That doesn't concern, or does it?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's a different way of asking about how the new how the intersection will be redone. And the way that person is asking the question is, that was almost before the roundabout was considered. So remove the way that it was asked, and the answer is simply, we're putting in a roundabout. So we're not squaring up anything, we're not changing alignment, we're physically putting in a roundabout instead of having a signalized intersection to be the operational improvement.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Well, those are the questions that came in, and thank you, Tony, so much for answering those. Again, we will follow up about the pedestrian access. That's definitely top of mind for us. And if there is anyone on this call who, again, wants any additional information, Livable Buckhead and the Buckhead Community Improvement District, we are here for you. We have lobby boards that can be displayed at your workplace. We are also willing to come on site and speak to your employees about alternative commutes and impacts to their current commute. So we are here to help you however that may be. And if there is another webinar coming up, we'll be sure to let you know. Again, this is recorded and we will be posting it on our YouTube page. I will send this out to all of the attendees once that has been uploaded. For you all to be able to access and send to those who were not able to attend today. But thank you guys so much. It is 2:30, so we are going to wrap this up. Any questions you have, please feel free to email info@livablebuckhead.org and we will get you the answer or to the person you need. Thank you all for your time today. I really appreciate it. See you later.